Alright, welcome everyone to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a theory I have in regards to the 7 nations in Genshin Impact, as well as um, how each one's element actually corresponds to their ideal. I'm going to start in Mondstadt and go down through. If you think I'm incorrect about any of this, let me know. But without further ado, I will get right into it. And essentially,
I can't wait any longer!
with Mondstadt, we all know its element is animo,
I'll protect us.
and its ideal is freedom. And it should be fairly obvious how it links up in the fact that oftentimes we think of free spirits or people who are just out on the wind, people who also, there's the whole concept of freedom being connected with just nature in general.
Power that ended Haishan! You're toast!
So, with wind as well. Wind goes where it wishes, where it pleases, it flows where it wants, without any hindrance. It is free to do what it wants, to go where it wants. Whereas, and thus freedom is a great ideal for it to have, to be correlated with. Then moving on to Liwa, this one is a bit loose and could be seen as a stretch. However, it doesn't seem that much of a stretch depending on how you look at it. Essentially, to keep the contract going, to remain sturdy, you essentially need to stand firm and do what you're supposed to in regards to the contract. You have to be firm, which earth and ground is solid, which is probably the loosest link between the main thing with the nation and the element associated with it, whereas the previous one with animo, air, and freedom is much more solid. Let me know in the comments if you agree with the geo as what I said, which links them. However, I feel like the next one is a bit more solid with it, in the fact that Dendro is plants, and plants constantly grow, and you constantly grow in wisdom. So
nice. I'm starting to lose count.
It makes sense that they would be correlated. You don't have to agree with me on this, but it makes sense to me, and I will honestly stick to it. Stick with it. Oh, that way I skipped Inazuma with Electro. Um, this one's a bit convoluted of an explanation, I will admit. However, I still think it works because at the beginning of the Inazuma questline, the concept of eternity that the Raiden Shogun is operating under is in the mindset of an unchanging eternity. However, eternity requires some things to change. Like, you can't just sit there and do nothing for your whole life
The
and
more the
expect it
merrier.
to
The
work
first
out
round.
well. Uh, However, at the end, however you say your name, uh, accepts the changing aspect of eternity, which may or may not be agreeable to you, but everything changes, and that includes uh, electricity, lightning. It doesn't remain the same no matter how much you may try. They consider it to remain the same. Everything has changed, and even in an eternal thunderstorm, things change. The lightning bolts change, and thus that seems to me to be a good connection for it, which I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. And I had already mentioned Dendro with
Where have you
Sumer,
been
which
hiding?
I didn't really intend on doing it right then. However, again, if you think I'm stretching, let me know. If you think if you think it works, just feel free to let me know. And then moving on to Fontaine, which is Hydro, which this could have been, um, could have used Geo for, for Justice. However, I think Hydro works just as well. And that is due to the fact that Justice, to be true justice, it must remain undefiled or corrupt. It must remain pure. It also has to flow smoothly and justly. It cannot be corrupt. If it's corrupt, it doesn't flow the way it should. It's not true for justice. In a way similar to how
Eyes on me.
water must be pure for us to have any good benefits from it.
The fairy. Finally,
Which, again, this is probably a bit loose, but the connection is there. I haven't looked into
Where have you been hiding?
different things that like different understandings of elements in regards to different ideals and such, but to me this works. And moving on to Natlan, which is probably the maybe easier than um, Mondstadt for a connection, and that's because its element is pyro and its ideal is war. And often when you think of war, you think of fire. Flaming infernos, chaos, burning, just fire in general. So I don't think I need to go into too much farther detail to explain myself on
I'll
this.
protect us.
And moving on to Snezhnaya. This one's the most difficult. Especially since it essentially requires
Whirling snow. Embrace the ice.
you to make a guess
Nice and spicy.
on what
Take flight.
the ideal or the main theme of the region is going to be, as it wasn't as clear in
Whirling
the
snow.
storyline teaser for it. However, in my opinion,
I shall treasure this good
a
fortune.
logical take based off of this storyline teaser video is actually either rebellion or apathy, but based off of what
Take flight.
the previous um, region's ideals and basis are, I would have to say that it would make more sense if it was rebellion. Which, hear me out. I know it's not specifically outlined in the video. However, it does mention that the people of Snezhnaya only hope to be on her side when her day of rebellion comes. Which, if that
Today
doesn't
is a lucky day.
correlate to that being the major theme of that story chapter, I'm not sure what to say. But I think it is fair to